Hi, welcome to Top Deck Commander. I'm Wonky, I'm with Peggy, and this is our gameplay series.
Okay, so it's early turns again. We've got Dead Meat kicking us off. He has nothing, but Jesus goes straight for a Black Staff of Waterdeep, which basically allows him to animate an artifact.
I go straight into an Axe Spitter, nice little bit of early card.
My turn on the Mosswell Bridge, so I'll look at the top 4, exile a card and hide it under it.
And the first commander out already.
Jesus ramping there with a Signet.
That's a nice early play from me. Gifted Etherborn. It's a nice little bit of preventative or combat preventative measure.
So similar to Jesus, I'm dropping a Signet here to backdose this one. Dead Meat casting a Werebear here, and he's going to trigger Ayula, and he's going to choose to put 2 counters on Ayula.
It's a nice early play.
That's it. At the minute there's only 1 creature to fight and it's a Deathtoucher, so probably not going to fancy that.
Out comes Kotori. Leyline Prowler for an extra bit of ramp.
That's it. You're turned behind the ramp train compared to me and Jesus, but counts. There's the 3rd commander. It's Orfeo. Damien here, cheating, basically. He's cheating. It's technically a bear, so he's going to trigger Ayula.
Dead Meat pointing out he's got protection from black, and that's a nice little clue for me.
So with the Ayula trigger, he's putting 2 counters on Chameleon Colossus. So G is casting Tempered Steel there, and a Colossal Plough.
Tempered Steel, a nice value card when you're playing plenty of artifacts.
Colossal Plough, some incidental life gain, but mostly good white ramp.
So at this point, I was planning on playing Glissa, but because I knew Dead Meat had pro black, I deliberately played a green Deathtouch, so at least I had a defender.
So you're just equipping Axe Spitter to the Aetherborn there.
Keeping the 1 mana open in case I need to use it.
Yeah, that's it. Not swinging this turn, but using that mana while you've got it. So I go straight to combat, and I've talked Jesus into letting me swing Orfeo at him for 4 damage, using its own triggered ability on itself. Jesus is going to declare no blockers, and in response I'm going to cast Hunter's Insight, so I can draw 4 cards when the damage is dealt. So I move to my discard phase. I'm just letting the table know that I'm discarding Morog and Colossus of Akros. It's just something for the table to keep an eye on. So Dead Meat here getting a Gnarled Colony out. This one actually not a bear, but it will allow his creatures with 1/1 counters on them to have trample. So Dead Meat going to combat here, and he's sending 4 commander damage at Jesus.
Kappa Tech Wrecker did his job then in diverting the attention.
Yep. Jesus here sensing a trap and choosing not to cruise vehicle and block. Jesus there just being a couple mana short in his turn and being too afraid to swing, so he's going to keep those back as blockers.
So I'm playing a Hornet Nest there, just hoping that somebody will swing something large into it to shake the game up a touch.
So you're swinging 2 damage at me there. I'll just take it and you can gain the 2 life off of it.
Just a little bit of chip damage to speed the game along.
But I'm going to combat here, and I'm swinging 4 damage at Dead Meat. Looks like a silly play. He's not. He's taking the bait and he's blocking with Chameleon Colossus. Orfeo obviously dies. So second main, casting Gaze of Granite for 4. So any non-permanent cost 4 mana or less is destroyed. Basically what I was hoping there was Dead Meat wouldn't block, would take the 4 damage, and I'd board wipe anyway. There's a nice clean board. So Dead Meat here casting a Bearscape. You can pay 1 in the green, remove 2 cards in his graveyard from the game, and make a 2/2 bear creature token. That was the world's quickest pass from Jesus there. So you're casting Thorn of the Black Rose here. Okay.
The main reason being, let's put out the Monarch Frog.
Beautiful.
Monarchy, quite handy in a Deathtouch deck because it makes it a lot harder for somebody to get back through and claim the Monarchy.
And of course you get to draw a card in your end step, non-turning down card draw.
The second bonus being with Deathtouch, for if somebody even does take the Monarchy from me, then I just have to swing a Deathtouch forwards and hopefully take its state back.
So I'm tapping Jundun 1 here for Yearlock. So introducing some mana burn into the game. I do have a colourless floating, so I'm actually going to be the first victim here, take 1 damage from Yearlock. Dead Meat here, casting Ayula for the 2nd time this game. Still only a 4-drop. Got 2 mana there left over to activate Bearscape should he need to. And passes to Jesus. So Jesus here casting Lashiel. One that you're familiar with, Wonky. So you're playing Throne of the High City here.
Already have the Monarchy, so that's not too influential at the moment. But it's an extra land.
So finally, the 4th commander. We're up Glissa the Traitor. Like you say, 1st strike and Deathtouch. Great blocker.
Hopefully protects the Monarchy for me so I can get my extra card draw.
And then Power Word killing Yearlock.
I was a bit scared of the mana burn at that time. There was always a chance I could get left with too much mana available and nowhere to plow it.
So because Yearlock dies, Glissa will trigger, and you get to turn an artifact to your hand. So the Arc Splitter, so you go ahead and recast it.
It's such a cheap little artifact to use, that one. Very handy.
I'm tapping 6 here for Vigor. If damage would be dealt to another creature I control, I prevent it, put that many 1/1 counters on it. In my end step, Dead Meat, activating Bearscape, exiling 2 cards from his graveyard and making a 2/2 bear. This is going to trigger Ayula, and he'll put 2 1/1 counters on her. And so far we're yet to see a fight, so hopefully we'll get to that in a while. Then he casting Shadow Spear here and equipping it to Ayula. Dead Meat here, swinging another 5 commander damage at Jesus, puts him up on 9. Jesus loses 5, Dead Meat gains 5.
Smart move here from Jesus, making a copy of Glissa.
That's it. Her ability to bring artifacts back is going to really benefit his deck, especially considering we've already had a board wipe. And then the shield triggers and he'll draw a card as the imposter mech is still classed as an artifact. So you're casting Hooded Blightfang here. Can get out of hand in a Deathtouch tribal deck like yours. Going to be some gain and drain when your creatures attack. I don't think we worry too much about the Planeswalker aspect of this yet, are we?
No, I'm not sure if we have any Planeswalkers due to be coming out in this game. The Hooded Blightfang is quite handy for incidental damage. It just means I can swing some mediocre little Deathtouch creatures and affect everyone's life totals.
So you're going to combat here and you're sending Glissa over Dead Meat. Hooded Blightfang will trigger and each opponent will lose a life and you'll gain 1. Dead Meat looking to keep his bay, he'll take the 3 damage. So no more plays, you'll move to your end step, draw the card for still being the Monarch, and pass to me.
The Monarchy double-edged sword, because you get the extra card draw, but it does draw attention to people wanting to attack you. In the Deathtouch tribal deck, then so far it's doing quite well.
So I've gone to combat and I send Vigor at Wonky. It's got Trample, so there's a good chance I'm going to try and take that Monarchy. You'll block with the Thorn of the Black Rose, so I'm going to go ahead and respond. And I'm going to send my 2-handed axe on an adventure to give Vigor double strike. Immediately should be taking 9 over the top. Vigor will live. Dead Meat's jumping in here with a Root Snare.
I was expecting some shenanigans on this round, but I was not expecting Dead Meat to jump in.
That's possibly a little retaliation for the board wipe earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and respond to the Root Snare. I'm going to return to nature his Bearscape before any more cards hit his graveyard.
So Thorn of the Dusk Rose survives by a fluke.
Second main, I've got the mana, so I'll just cast that 2-handed axe. Dead Meat casting Owlbear here. When it enters the battlefield, allow him to draw a card, and it'll trigger Ayula. And he's choosing to put another 2 counters on Ayula here.
It's a pass from Dead Meat. Jesus quite thankful finally to get another land.
So casting Master of the Ethereum here. It's bigger for each artifact he controls, just 3/3 at the moment. And he has to draw a card from the shield's trigger. So he's going to use the Master of Ethereum to crew the Mobilizer mech, which is currently a Glissa, and send it at you, Wonky.
Now, I take the 4 here because I think it's slightly easier than losing a creature. I can always try and get the Monarchy back fairly easily when I need it. So it's a pass to me. And a nice card here that I'm playing, Witch of the Moors.
So it works really well with the Hooded Blightfang here because you're guaranteed to gain life as long as you just attack, and then in your end step, each opponent will be forced to sacrifice a creature.
Yeah, it's a nice little combo. I was quite pleased to drop that.
course, all those creature sacrifices will cause both your and Jesus' Glissas to trigger. And then you return some artifacts if you're able to. So you move to attacks here. Yep, I'm just saying the Thorn just grows at me. So on attack will lose 1 and you'll gain 1. And then I'll take the 1 damage.
At the end step, which of the most triggers, and all opponents sacrifice a creature.
So my only creature, a bear token, the Master of Ethereum. And both you and Jesus will be able to return an artifact to your hands. You had no artifacts to target there with Glissa, but which of the modes allowed you to return a creature, and you targeted Hornet Nest. Goes to my turn. I've got a Kessid Wolfrun for play. If I can get a creature stay out, I can pump it and make it much bigger. So I'm hoping I'm playing pretty smart here. I'm getting my Moldgraph Monstrosity out here. When it dies, I exile it, and I return 2 creatures at random from my graveyard to the battlefield.
This is when it becomes a threat of what you have in your graveyard.
I've got 3 creatures in there. I'm hoping for the 2 that aren't Yurlock. I may instead dead meat there, just using Revive to put a Bearscape back on top of his library from his graveyard. Then it'll then go to his turn and draw that Bearscape. And cast it right away. So when Deadmeat enters combat, before attacks are declared, Jesus decides to...
Is it Swift Reconfiguration?
Yep, use a Swift Reconfigure on the Owlbear. In response, Deadmeat is going to use Bearscape to make a bear token. Token's going to trigger Ayula, and while Owlbear's still a creature, he's going to choose to put the 2 1/1 counters on there. Then the Swift Reconfiguration will finish resolving. Cast Giant Growth, targeting the bear token he's just made. Yep. So it'll be big enough to crew his Owlbear. Swinging at Jesus here, who blocks with the shield. He'll just take a little damage over the top.
He's got a low life total. I don't blame him for doing that move.
Then here again, his turn with the Monarchy. Jesus here getting back into it. Got a land and a solving this turn.
Is that the first solving of the game?
It is. Jesus here, ruining my hopes and dreams.
He's a perfect player.
That's it. Release to memory, exiling my graveyard, and allowing him to make 3 spirits. So now it's looking an awful lot like, at the end of your turn, my Moldgraph Monstrosity will die for nothing.
I'd been wondering how to solve that conundrum, but fortunately, it was solved for me by Jesus.
After that, he's passing to you.
Playing yet another land. I'm doing quite well for my land drops.
And it's the return of the Hornet Nest. So you're going to enter combat here, swing Glissa at me again, and I'm going to block with the Monstrosity.
Jesus and Deadmeat fairly happy just to have to sack a token. No hardship for them.
That's it. On attack, we'll all lose 1, you'll gain 1. So as long as Witch of the Moon is around in your end step, that'll trigger again. There's no point in me not blocking here.
Witch of the Moors and Hooded Blightfang been quite a nice pairing.
So you'll move to your end step. Everyone sacks a creature. I've got none to sack. And you're returning Gifted Aetherborn to your hand. So I'm really struggling here because the mana curve in this deck is quite high, so it's almost impossible for me to get 2 creatures out of turn. I just lose them all to the Witch of the Moors triggers.
Isn't that a shame?
So I'm going to play Greater Good. If I do get a creature out, I'll be able to sack it to draw some cards. Because I haven't got a creature, I'll put Rancor on Dead Meat's Ayula. Just get +2/+0 and trample. And then pass to him. So Dead Meat goes to attack Jesus here. In response, he's got a surprise gift for him.
A surprise gift being, of course, an elephant.
So Dead Meat here in response is going to cast Bounty of Might. And give Ayula +3/+3 3 times. He's going to activate Bearscape, exile 2 cards from his graveyard to make a bear.
Which triggers Ayula.
And now out of nowhere, Ayula is going to fight the Hornet Nest.
I'm rather liking this move. I now receive 18 flying Deathtouches.
That's a problem for the table. Mostly it's a problem for Jesus, so he really needs an answer.
If I swing with 22 Deathtouch creatures, Jesus dies on attack.
You do just so happen to have
22 creatures.
Yes. But Jesus, Glissa will trigger and he'll bring back his Black Staff of Waterdeep. Then the gift resolves, Ayula dies, Rancor hits the graveyard and goes back to my hand. The Glissas will trigger again, and Dead Meat makes an elephant token. So Jesus here is going to help improvise Organic Extinction out of his hand and destroy all non-artifact creatures.
I'm not sure Jesus had realised how close to death he was if he hadn't cast that board wipe.
Dead Meat in response, crewing his vehicle version of Owlbear. It is an artifact creature, so it won't die, but it will be able to block should it come up. So when Jesus Glissa triggers, he's got no artifact left to return. I think it's the same for you here, Monkey.
Yeah, I believe it's the same. I think I just had creatures.
So after that board wipe, Jesus passes straight to you.
Now I've got plenty of lands. What can I cast?
Okay, Monkey, so you're tapping everything here.
Yep, to save time, I tapped all my mana in one.
Getting out a Gifted Aetherborn, a Thorn-Wheeled Archer, and an Ogre Slumlord.
It's quite nice to just drop 3 creatures straight after a board wipe. Thorn-Wheeled Archer being one of my favourite cards because it also provides reach as well as the Deathtouch.
So it passed to me, and I get to draw and recast bigger after it's been previously shuffled back into my library. I'm going to give it up with the axe just in case it does get to attack next turn. So I guess it's Dead Meat's turn, and he taps 6 for Ayula.
So Boluvian Bears hits the table.
He's going to have another Ayula trigger. Yeah, with 2 counters on her. He's going to enter combat, crew up his owlbear, and send it at Jesus for 6. He's still the Monarch, so he'll draw a card. Jesus here recasting the Master of Ethereum. Followed by the Colossal Plough.
It's like deja vu.
Then a Surge Hacker mech. When it enters the battlefield, it will trigger. The damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control, which will be 6 to Ayula. There's Master of Ethereum's going to crew his artifact version of Glissa and go for 4 right back at dead meat and take the Monarchy. He'll draw from in the Monarchy in his end step and pass straight to you.
So once again, the Axe Splitter is equipped to the Gifted Etherborn.
Into combat, and the Etherborn also going at Jesus for 2. You'll gain
And
2.
take the Monarchy.
So I'm tapping 6 here and recasting Orfeo, my commander. Next I'm going to put Bancor on my Vigor to give +2% trample, which it already has. Now we're going to enter combat, swing at U1 key, so the actual trigger on Orfeo will trigger. Its power will be doubled and doubled again, up to 32.
So now I can play that card and cast my next creature, which can't be countered.
Its savage summoning is just brutal in this instance.
I'd been holding it back knowing I had Glissa there.
Obviously, like I said, that first strike Deathtouch really ruining my day.
That would have been awfully painful to take that damage.
Compromise, I'll sack it to the greater good. It'll be shuffled back into my deck, and I'll go ahead and draw 32 cards. It's not really what I wanted, but it's not.
It's better than it dying and getting no gain.
Yeah. Most people wouldn't turn down a third of the deck.
I think you were taken by surprise with the Glissa.
Yeah, like I said, I would have rather keep the creature around. Good news is, in those 32 cards, I'll probably draw a different one. I do have to discard 3, that's the downside of greater good. The second main, I'll cast a Signet, because I've already played a land, and I'll start discarding down to hand size.
Which will take quite a while.
Dead meat here for telling a card. And passing to Jesus. And Jesus recasting his commander for the second time. And I finally finished discarding down to hand size.
So these 4 decks are interacting quite nicely so far on this game. It's very hard to guess at what's going to happen.
Jesus here with Kitsune Ace. When that pilots a vehicle, you can either untap Kitsune Ace when that vehicle attacks, or you can give it first strike. And now replays Blackstaff of Waterdeep. You're just remembering your rat token here from when Vigor died. So Jesus here, gearing up the Mobilizer Mech and the Colossal Plough. Swinging them both at you. With his Kotori trigger, he's given the Colossal Plough Vigilance and Lifelink. So you're blocking the plow here with the rat, and choosing to take 4 from Jesus' version of Glissa.
Because a creature died, I get another rat.
He's now casting an Arcane Signet, so a bit more ramp. And then casting a Mobilizer Mech. And because Jesus has a Monarchy, he'll draw a card in his end step, and pass to you 1 key. So you're going to combat here and stay Gifted Aetherborn at me, and a rat at Jesus. There's no blocks. I'll lose 2, you'll gain 2, Jesus will lose 1, and you'll get the Monarchy back.
Which was my pure intention.
So I'm just organising my lands here. I'm going to try and cast all the spells I need to. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Rivete's Confluence. There's a couple of modes. You can choose the same one more than once. So I'm going to choose to deal 1 damage to each creature I don't control 3 times. So you're responding here and casting Tamiyo's Safekeeping, targeting Glissa. Just gonna try and keep her around.
Yeah, she's been doing good protective work for me, so it's worth spending the Tamiyo's Safekeeping on this time.
So because of the Glissas and the Ogre Slumlords, there's going to be a few triggers here. You're going to be able to make a couple of rat tokens and potentially return a couple of artifacts. So when the dust settles, you get 4 rat tokens. Because Ogre Slumlord's gone, they won't have Deathtouch.
I'm not going to say no to 4 1/1 blockers.
So Jesus' Glissa returning Colossal Plow to his hand. So I go to move through my phases. And as I do, you Tragic Slip my commander.
Beautiful card. Nice and cheap. -13, -13.
It's safe to say a creature died this turn. So after that, I've got nothing left and we pass to Dead Meat. So Dead Meat here tapping 8 to recast his commander Ayula again.
So Jesus casting a Sharding Sphinx, artifact creature.
Very good in artifact deck, he's going to get to make some Thopters off of that. Then a Reckoner Bankbuster. Comes in with 3 counters on it, and he can pay to remove a counter and draw a card, which he'll do straight away.
Sharding Sphinx is sending fear up my spine at the moment because I know exactly what this card is capable of.
So Jesus is going to start crewing his vehicles. When the Mobilizer Mech becomes crewed, another target vehicle becomes crewed. And then Shining Sphinx will crew Imposter Mech.
And Jesus is spreading his attacks out around the board.
When he deals combat damage with some artifact creatures, his Shining Sphinx will trigger and he'll get to make some Thopters. He sent 4 at you and me each and 6 at dead meat. Even though all of his creatures are tapped there, he did get to give one of them Vigilance and Lifelink from his Kotori trigger. We all take combat damage, he makes 3 Thopters.
And gains the monarchy.
It's a lot of combat triggers.
So Jesus' board is getting quite big now. So I'm starting to run out of creatures now in my hand, but I do have aid from the cowl, so if creatures die, I do stand a chance of being able to drop something from my library onto the battlefield.
That's it. As long as any permanent, I think it is, leaves your battlefield in your end step, you have to look at the top. So you're going to come ahead. You're going to do the same, spread the love. You're leaving 1 rat untapped and then sending 1 each at us.
My hope is that at least 1 rat will die and trigger my enchantment.
No, I'm the only one actually taking the damage here. Both Jesus and Deadmeat blocking. Jesus trading a Thopter. You'll lose a couple of rats.
Although 2 creatures left, I only get 1 trigger from the enchantment.
So second main, you're going to pay the 4, tap and sack your Throne of the High City. Take that monarchy back.
It's a nice harmless way of doing it. I've got plenty of mana, I can afford to lose 1 land.
Really there, you tricked Jesus into losing a Thopter. Move to your end step, aid with Cowl triggers. Again, Orfeomancer. It's a very good card. So beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, you get to make a 1/1 snake.
With Deathtouch.
With Deathtouch. Also in your end step, I'll be cracking my Myriad Landscape. So I'm playing the backside of Kazul's Fury there as a land, because I'm a bit desperate. And then again, dividing all my mana up. So I'm casting spells in my hand, leaving it all open and passing turn.
We know you've got cards in hand, we know you've got mana. The chance of you having removal is quite high. So this is a tricky game. We've got a large vehicle army in one corner, we've got Deathtouches in another corner, fight triggers in another corner, and Orfeo just taking a nap.
Just lots of mana and lots of removal, but no actual board state for me. So Deadmeat casting Savage Swipe here, targeting Ayula here to give it +2 and have it fight Orfeomancer.
It's probably a good call. At the time I didn't have much utility for the Orfeomancer.
So it's casting Elvish Fury now, and giving Ayula another +2. Next he's casting his Foretell card, which will allow him to put a counter on Ayula. But with that on the stack, he's going to maintain priority And activate Bear Escape to remove 2 cards from his graveyard and make a bear token. Trigger Ayula, he'll get 2 counters on it. And the Foretell card will finish resolving, get a counter on it, and he'll have Ayula fight the Sharding Sphinx.
I was very pleased to see the Sharding Sphinx go. It could easily have got out of hand.
So next. Crushing Vines, and he's removing Jesus' artifact version of Glissa. He's gone ahead and removed both the pieces we were worried about. Then Deadmeat choosing not to attack. There's a few too many blockers out there and passing to Jesus.
So, little setback for Jesus, but can he rebuild it?
So Jesus starting off by casting a Foundry Inspector. And then an Imperial Recovery unit.
And an unlicensed hearse also enters the battlefield.
And this is the 3rd time we've seen his Colossal Plough. The Foundry Inspector, of course, making all of these 1 cheaper. Tap the Bankbuster to draw a card here, drops down to just 1 counter on it. And then I cast the Omen Keel. Then he's going to immediately tap the hearse to remove 2 cards from Deadmeat's graveyard. Just getting rid of some of those Bear Escape targets. So Jesus again going through his crewing routine, Kotori into 1 mech, which will trigger and crew the other mech. So he's giving the Surge Hacker mech Vigilance and Lifelink. Going 4 U-Wonky and 6 Deadmeat.
Not a lot I can do when it's in the air.
He's remembered to send a Thought to each of you at the same time. So Deadmeat here using Ayula to crew his Owlbear and double blocking.
Not often you get to crew a bear. I'll just take my damage.
So Jesus gaining his life there and the Monarchy.
So Jesus draws for Monarchy and then passes turn to me.
So your turn, you're casting Farrak's Chosen. Another Deathtouch creature. So next you're casting a Charity of Victory. It's First Strike, Trample and Haste.
First Strike and Deathtouch obviously synergize perfectly well.
A Chariot's going on the snake there.
So I swing 3 power at Jesus, just hoping that it'll block one of the rats which don't have Deathtouch. But it doesn't fall for it and just takes the damage. I really did want to lose a permanent so I can have an enchantment trigger. So now I'm passing over to Peggy.
course took the monarchy, you'll be taking the frog back in a second and drawing a card in your end step. So I'm actually casting one of Jesus' favourite cards, the Giant Artiphage. It deals common damage, get to make a copy of it.
Also has trample, which is quite handy.
So I'm gearing him up with the axe this time, just to know if Handy sticks around to my next turn I get to swing. Then passing straight to dead meat.
So Storm Citadel being played by dead meat.
So this creature get +2, and if they deal combat damage to a player or planeswalker, they get to destroy an artifact or enchantment that player controls. He's casting Bear Cub, he's going to trigger Ayula, and he's going to choose to put another 2 counters on her. And then gearing Ayula up with the Shadow Spear there. So dead meat going to combat and sending Ayula at Jesus and a currently 4/4 bear at you, purely so you can take the monarchy and draw cards.
At this point, I'm happy to let him I'll take the damage from him just so he can draw a card and hopefully draw an answer to the board in the corner.
Unfortunately, what he's done here is misjudged the size of Jesus' Master of Ethereum, which is much bigger than Ayula. Yeah, Demi, they were so busy worrying about the vehicles, he forgot that the Master of Ethereum itself was a 14/14. So Demi will gain the life, but lose his commander. And then he's going to destroy Archspit with a trigger. So Demi gets the monarchy there, draws a card in his end step. Like I say, hopefully it's something useful. Jesus playing a Temple of Enlightenment, just letting him scry 1, just leaving it on top. So he's using a Thopter to create a Mobilizer mech, which will trigger and crew his Imperial Recruiter unit. And another Thopter will crew his Colossal Plough.
So the Thopters are doing some work here without actually flying themselves.
So when he enters combat, Kotori will trigger and he'll give his Colossal Plough Vigilance and Lifelink. He's sending the flyer at you again and his ground units over dead meat.
Yeah, nothing I can do against a flyer.
With the attack trigger, he's returning the Imposter mech to his hand, as well as 3 life and 3 white mana from the plough. You're taking the damage there, and dead meat just chump blocking, so he doesn't take 7 of that damage. Jesus will gain the life. So it's the return of Imposter mech. He's abandoned the Glissa plan and he's having an Artiphage this time.
It's a bigger body.
That's it. His is an 8/8 because of his +1/+1 pumps. He's going to be looking to make a few more Artiphages in his next turn. He's briefly out of cards in hand, but when he moves to his end step, he'll draw as he took the monarchy from dead meat. Also in his own end step, he'll tap the Hearst. He'll exile the top 2 cards of dead meat's graveyard, again just to cut down the Bearscape triggers, and use the Black Staff of Waterdeep to turn the Omen Keel into a creature until Black Staff of Waterdeep becomes untapped. After a brief discussion on how to deal with Jesus' board, we move to combat on your turn. You're sending the Deathtouch snake over at Jesus and 2 rats at me. So I'm going to respond here and take the opportunity to cast Jaheira's Respite. It's going to fog combat damage. I'll get to go find 2 lands because 2 creatures were coming at me. At this point, I know, because of what's in my hand, that I need the extra mana more than I think you need the extra damage on Jesus.
Yeah, the damage to Jesus wouldn't have done much. I would have preferred to have lost a permanent.
So that's all for your turn. You'll pass to me. Let's recount my mana again. So I'm going to go ahead and cast a Helm of the Host here, and then equip it to the Adiphrage.
It's quite a nasty play.
Yeah, Jesus didn't seem too happy about it at the time. I'll enter combat and make an Adiphrage. And then I swing everything over Dead Meat. The axe triggering doubling the original Adiphage's power to 14, plus the 7 from the other Adiphage's 21 total.
Yeah, that was quite out of the blue, that. I wasn't expecting to swing at Dead Meat.
He's open, he's on a lot of life. My deal damage I'll get to trigger both Adiphages, make 2 more.
Yeah, long run getting the extra 2 Adiphages certainly does help.
It's better to guarantee the power. After that, I'll pass to Dead Meat. We'll see what he has. Dead Meat equipping Shadow Spear to his bear token.
It's on quite a high life total.
And the Dead Meat is going to cast Prey Upon. And he's going to have his bear token fight one of Jesus' Thopters. Just 1 less creature to crew his vehicles, and he'll gain a little bit of life.
But not a lot Dead Meat can do when he passes the turn. So Forsaken Monument is played by Jesus. Very powerful card in artifact decks.
Yep, all of his colourless ones getting +2/+2. So, same crewing here, is crewing the Mobilizer mech, which in turn will crew the Imperial Recruiter unit. Putting the Foundry Inspector into his artifact version of an Adiphage. And Kotori into the Colossal Plough. The Omen Keel is still a vehicle from when the Blackstaff of Waterdeep turned into one last turn. When he enters combat, Kotori will trigger and he'll give his Adiphage Vigilance and Lifelink.
Once again, the flyer comes at me. Colossal Plough also coming at me, and the rest at Dead Meat.
So on attack he'll gain 3 life. From the Plough he'll make 3 white mana. Imperial Recruiter unit will trigger and he'll be able to return an artifact, but he has none in his graveyard. So Dead Meat here, he's going to activate Bear Escape twice to make 2 bear tokens. So we're going to move to blockers now, and you're going to block the Plough of Glissa. I've given Dead Meat a heads up and just told him not to bother blocking the Adiphage, it's not going to be a problem. He's going to block the Recruiter unit with 1 and double block the other. Then I'll respond to blockers and beast within the Adiphage. And then Meat will also blow up the Forsaken Monument there. Just reduce some of that damage.
So I remove the plough through the Deathtouch and I just take 4 damage.
All in all, not great attacks for Jesus there. Got picked apart a bit. So Jesus there gets a 3/3 beast. Dead Meat loses all of his bears. Jesus loses the plough and one of his vehicles.
You get away lightly.
Yeah, I think he thought by attacking you two, I wouldn't use my removal on him, but I can't allow him to have life-linking adiphages.
Such a complicated game, at least.
After combat there, G is moving through the phases to his end step, drawing a card for being a Monarch still, and passing to you. So you're casting a Gnarlwood Dryad here. Just a nice cheap 1/1 Deathtoucher. So you've entered combat here and you've sent 1 rat each at Jesus and Dead Meat.
So Jesus said he's going to block, so I can try and draw an answer. But obviously Dead Meat has nothing available. Nothing available.
So you move to your end step to aid from the Cowable trigger. And it's a land. There's a permanent, so you do get to put it on the battlefield. In your end step, I'm going to activate my Mosswort Bridge. We're going to see a rampaging Brontodon.
It's been hidden away from the very beginning.
Just for the sake of anyone watching in real time, it's about just over 2 hours that's been sat there. Just counting up how big it is, because on attack it gets +1/+1 for each land I control, so currently it'll be turning into a 21/21. So I'm separating my lands here again so I can cast spells when I need to. Trying to be organised. So I'm recasting Orfeo for the 3rd time. So I'm going to go to combat, Helmet of Host will trigger, and I'll make another hasty Adiphage. So all of the Adiphages are going at Dead Meat. The axe will double the original Adiphage's power, and Orfeo's trigger will double the Brontodon's power. So that's 42 at each of them. That's pretty fair.
So obviously Dead Meat wasn't really a threatening target, but he was perfectly available to attack.
So his easiest target to make a lot more Adiphages.
I don't have a threatening board myself, but I do have Deathtouches, which makes it a lot harder for Peggy to swing into.
So Jesus there blocking with the 4 creatures he has available. So in response I'll terminate his big creature, the Master of Ethereum, and cast Soul's Fire targeting the Brontodon, so it'll deal damage equal to its power to your face, Wonky.
Yeah, that's straight through. That's quite painful.
That's a straight 42 there, nothing you can do about that. It's taken a while, but you're the first casualty of this game. Closely followed by Dead Meat. And Jesus will drop all the way down to 6 life. So the Adiphages will trigger, and I'll make some more. Yep, I'll make 5 more Adiphages there.
That's quite a bit of power to drop on the board.
Yep, just casual extra 35. And I get a Monarch key for the first time. I'll move to end step and draw a card for that.
It looks like the end of the game is finally drawing near.
Jesus, just remembering that his hearse died in the attack there. So again, he's crewing the mech, which will trigger and crew the Imperial Recovery unit. Mobilize a mech when he enters combat will get Vigilance and Lifelink. And they're both going to come with me. The recovery unit will return the imposter mech back to his hand on attack. An Adderphage and Chaos Warp his flyer.
The removal they've been keeping behind is really starting to be quite pivotal now.
I said drawing 32 cards earlier in the game, a big help. So, second main, she is casting Vanquish the Horde. The board's about to disappear. So what I'm going to do is start sacrificing my tapped Adderphages to the greater good, draw 7 cards and discard 3 at a time. So hopefully I can find an answer that I can use on my next turn. Unfortunately I've tapped out in this one. So the good news is I've got plenty of Adderphages I can sack, I just need to keep going until I find something useful. Get down to about 15 or so cards left in my library before I decide to stop. So then after that, Jesus is recasting his commander.
So he's turned his Arcane Signet into a 4/4 creature, which is probably just there as another blocker. His life total is basically forcing him to be on the defensive now.
Yep. So he's not overly hopeful as he passes to me, so I've got to draw most of my deck. So I'll play a land there and have a little count up. And then I'll go ahead and tap 9 and cast Lavalanche for exactly 6. Deal 6 damage to him and each creature he controls.
And finally, the epic saga draws to a close.
I get slammed my cards for a change. Right, so it's all come to an end, and that is a win for Orfeo. It took a while to get there.
It was a grind, was that game. It was a thoroughly enjoyable game, but it was a grind.
Yeah. I think most of us thought the win was going to Jesus for most of that game with his vehicles. I just couldn't quite find enough damage to close out.
I was very pleased with the resilience of my Deathtouch deck, but I just could not draw the aggression cards this time. Hopefully, when we play our next game, I'll draw something different.
Yep. Again, Bear's having a really good showing there, controlling a lot of the board, a lot of fight triggers, a lot more gain-like than we thought would happen.
Yep, an awful lot of interaction between the decks. It was a good, challenging game, that one. Very, very pleased I was part of that.
Okay, so we're looking forward to more. Hopefully you'll join us. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That's all for myself and Wonky, and we'll see you in the next game.
Goodbye.